Welcome back to the KBurn88 YouTube channel. Today we're going to try and tackle some wiring. Last video showed you the Terminator X that we got, and I'm really excited to use this thing. This will be my first one installing, and they're just awesome. You can't beat a complete ECU system for $1,000, because we're not going to use the if you want the Terminator X Max, that's $1,300, and it'll control the throttle body and the transmission. But since we're running a Powerglide, we don't need to control that, and we've got a drive-by cable throttle body, so we don't need to control that. So $1,000, do everything you need to do. Got everything laid out. This piece of metal here, I'll show you what we got. There's been a million videos, but you know, who cares? What's one more video? Got your screen. I believe it's a 3.5-inch screen. This cable here, it does not come with the Terminator X. This is extra. This is so you can hook up your laptop. You can do data logging and tune changes. There's only one plug on the main harness to hook it up. So I mean, you can buy it. They've got a Y that you can buy for it, where you can hook both these up at the same time, or you can just solder or splice, whichever way you can do. You got your O2 sensor. I can't remember what I think it's a Bosch, but I don't remember what the part number is on it. You got your input output harness, 4 inputs, 4 outputs, extras in your injector harness here. You got the EV1 style injectors, so EV1 style plugs. Here's your harness, main harness. It's got 2 little plugs. Simple, very simple. I mean, you got all your other plugs too, but that's all that goes into the ECM. I believe that's where, yep, that's where the screen goes. Fuel pump relay. I've got it mounted on my little bracket over here. You got all your other little plugs, and they even have a fuel pressure. It'll even log fuel pressure, and that's not extra. I mean, that's part of the system. Thought that's pretty cool. And here's a little bracket I made for it, made out of aluminum. You got your Terminator X there, and that relay will run the trans brake. So like when you bump in and stuff, these react a lot faster than like one of these relays. This is a solid state relay. And then this is the fuel pump relay that came with the system, with the harness. So I mounted it here. This will run the second fuel pump, and it's actuated by a hob switch on the back here. Just a little 4 psi hob switch. And fan 1, fan 2. The ECM will control fan 1. Once this turns on, I'll just link it over to this one and turn that one on. That way I'm not wasting. I don't want to waste 2 different outputs just to run the fans, so just use one input, or one output, sorry. This little bracket, you can remove the computer. I just bolted the back one, or the front one in. That way if you have to get to any of these relays, but the back ones will be welded in. I'll show you where it goes. Get in there. Sit in there all nice and slick. Woo. I think I'll probably end up making a cover, because a couple water droplets are not going to hurt anything as far as the Terminator goes. But I mean, why not? You know, extra cover, just keep water off of it. Make a little window so you can see all these little indicators. I don't have a list of what these indicators do, but well, I do have a list, but they're in the instructions. I took the intake off to put a sensor, oil pressure sensor, but he's already got one in there, so that's right though. Let's take like a whole 5 minutes to take off the intake. And now we'll get to installing this thing. See how far we can get. All right, I'm back. It's been a couple days, but you know, just waiting on more stuff. So I got a little bit more wiring done, and today we're gonna work on this plug, map sensor plug. We're gonna go with a different style. Get some light on that. Got the old style 3-bar map sensor. We're gonna change this plug out to that. So instead of using like an adapter or a pigtail, I'm going to use some new ends. We're going to crimp these ends onto the wiring. Pretty easy, just a little bit better, I don't know, better quality, whatever. Use this crimper to do it. And let's see, let's go ahead and go over the other wiring. Got most of the harness in. You know, this is going to go to the throttle body. You got your intake air temp sensor goes down there. We'll get all the other stuff hooked up once we get the intake back on. I pulled the intake to do some vacuum stuff. Put all this vacuum stuff on here. That way when we put the intake on, it's done. Oh, also we got the steam vents. I'm going to bend that down just a little bit so I can get it underneath the throttle body. And then this one in the back, it's got a hose and it's going to come to the front and it'll tee. These two will tee together and go into the probably the hose. I think I'll put a little tee in the hose. Yeah, where'd that thing go? There it is. We're going to use this, so might drill and tap that. Put a little line in there. But, oh, and I've been working on this. I don't know if I showed this last time. I think I did. Yeah, I did. But there's more wiring on it. I added this little ledge here to hold the fuse block. So each one of these relays is going to have a fuse on it, except for that one. It's already got a fuse in the Terminator system. Okay, get this camera set up and I'll do some crimping. Alright, here we go. So normally you just, to release these, you put your little special pin tool in there and release those pins, but I don't know, maybe someday I'll need this as a pigtail. So this is going to be my pin removing tool. Bam. Get that out of the way. Oh, so on GM and the Terminator, orange is the 5-volt reference. This is the ground, and this is the sensor signal. That's what gives the voltage back to the ECM. Okay, so go ahead and strip now. Let me put these little insulators on there first. Okay, insulators are on. Let's do some stripping. These are my favorite strippers, by the way. I don't know if you guys ever use these. They just work really good. I've always liked them. 1, 2. Put it where you can see it. 3. Don't get those in your intake ports. Throw it over your back. Okay, next up are these. Let me get a screwdriver. I'm going to show you what happens here. So these two prongs here, those are what crimp onto the wire. And then these two big ones, if you can see them, that light's a little too bright. But the two big ones clamp onto these insulators, keep the water out of the plug. Alright, so we're going to go with probably 20 to 18 gauge. The bottom of this is going to sit right there. Got that in there. focused. Wire in the hole. Grip it down nice and tight. There we go. That part right there, is all crimped down. Hold on to the copper wiring. Give it a tug, make sure it doesn't come out. And then we'll slide the seal up. And for this one, we'll probably use this big hole. Yeah, use this big hole. Let's see what that one does. Flip it around. Yeah, that looks pretty good there. Just give it a nice squeeze. Oh, that looks beautiful. Now your seal's held on to. The wire is held on to. And we'll go on to the next one. We'll need an 18. Get my fingers out of the way. Give it a squeeze. Nice and tight. Throw the seal up there. Ooh, let's go this way. Oh man. Now see how it sits in that little pocket right there? And the fingers go up. Squeeze it down. Pretty good. Do the next one off camera. You don't need to watch me do it again. Alright, now we got all these ends crimped on there. Now we need to go and put them in the respective holes. So we got, you can see that A, B, and C. So that'd be A, B, and C. A gets the ground. Put that in there and listen for the lock. Lock. Little tug, make sure it's in there. And B gets the sensor output, red with black. Lock. And I'm guessing this one probably gets the orange. Just a wild guess. Uh-oh. Okay. Then you lock it all down. Bam. Ready to go. Oh, mother. Stupid. Okay, don't do that. See that? Wrong ends. Okay, so another thing I forgot to mention is in those kits they've got a female pin and they've got a male pin. Male goes into female, like that. And when you mess up, you get to cut them off and redo them. Yay, so I'm getting plenty of practice today. Alright, we got our plug done. We got all the right pins in it. Males. It's all taped up. Now, we go over to our map sensor. And plug it in.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Alright, one more thing done. Now I'm going to put this intake on. Actually, I'm going to get those bolts and the little crossover tube there. I'll be back. All right, we're getting closer. Got the intake back on. Got all the fuel lines on except for the return coming off that regulator there. And we got both of our steam vents plumbed into here. Got our oil feed going. Got the oil drain on. I still got to wire this in. This is the exciter wire for the alternator. Just turns that on. Holley makes it. They already have a resistor soldered in there. Just waiting on some nice loom. I bought some more of this kind of loom to put on this so it looks nice going back. And kind of got that just sitting in there, but I got a lot more of it wired in. Got the little fuse block on there. And we also installed the fuel tank, or fuel cell. It's in here. We got to run the lines and everything still, but that'll be on the next video. Made this cool little cover. See if I can, kind of hard to see with that light on it here. Back it off a little bit. There we go. It's so shiny. There we go. Ooh, oh, oh, come on. Anyways, those are the two outlets. Had to cover up that nastiness right there because those are almost level with the trunk lid. Those two outlets there, the little dash 10s. Goes right on there, makes it look pretty. All right. I almost forgot my outro. They're just nuts and bolts, so don't be scared of these cars. They're just cars. They don't talk back. Later.